everything I told you, there's no time to cry during these 2 years. You can keep all that, brooding over and crying and all this, you can keep pending. You can do after the result if there is a need. So, hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. I bring to you a series of interviews with my NEET successful candidates, just to give you an insight into what they did during this journey of 2 years and the tips and tricks that might help you. So this will give you some insight into your preparation, how you should go about. So like, share and subscribe to my channel for more informative videos. Let us go ahead. So Asees, welcome to my channel. Introduce yourself.
Good evening, ma'am. Ma'am, myself, Asees Kaur Bhatia from Sacred Heart Convent School, Srabanagar, Ludhiana. I scored 661 out of 720 and a rank of 2459.
Okay. And what was your split score in the 3 subjects?
Ma'am, chemistry 162 out of 180.
Okay.
Bio 355.
Right.
And physics 144.
Okay. Let us start by going back to, the time when you moved from 10th to 11th standard. So share with us the anxiety or what was the, emotion when you moved from 10th to 11th, or were you very confident, or were you already mentally prepared? Tell us something about your journey till 10th standard.
Ma'am, till 10th standard, I never thought of studying +1, +2 before, like many of the people do.
Yeah.
So I focused on NTSC. I paid in 10th for that.
Okay.
And I focused on 10th boards after NTSC.
Okay. So you prepared for NTSC and you cleared stage 1.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah,
stage
good.
1.
And okay. And do you think the preparation that you did for NTSC, that somewhere helped in your preparation for 11th standard?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, it did help because the basics were formed well in 9th and 10th. Like the 9th standard chapters could be related to 11th and 10th standard to 12th standard.
Okay. But you did not specifically study with an idea of like 11th standard, especially doing those chapters. So you just focused on improving your basics in science and maths, I suppose?
Yes, ma'am. Science and maths.
Okay.
Ma'am, basically science.
Basically science. Okay. So which is your strong subject, science or maths? Till 10th, which was your strong subject? Science.
Science.
Okay. Just share with us, Asees, what were the sources that you used for your preparation?
Ma'am, I was a regular school student, so I followed the NCERTs, which are the most important, then school notes, and along with that, I went for coaching. Notes made at the coaching, those were followed, and MCQ books I followed, but I did not follow any book for theory. Theory was done only from the notes.
Okay. So, and you feel that was like good enough, doing theory from the notes. And then what practice books did you use?
Ma'am, for physics, I followed DC Pandey and BL Taneja.
Okay.
Chemistry, I followed for inorganic Jaiswal, for organic Chauhan, and for physical Avasthi. Okay.
And did you actually manage to do these books completely, or say 50% or 80%? How much could you actually manage? Let us start with Avasthi. You did your physical chemistry from Avasthi.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, I once completed, like when the chapter was going on in the class, with that I managed once. And then in the end, like our exam was in September. So after January, once the compiled chapter tests were beginning at the coaching, then I took 3-4 chapters and I completed, like it was done twice.
And you did all the levels and every question twice, or some selected ones?
Ma'am, the second time I mostly focused over level 3. That was about the past year questions.
Okay. And initially you did level 2.
Ma'am, level 1, 2, and 3, all
Level
three.
1, 2. And you could manage that much time to cover up all the questions per chapter along with your modules and your coaching notes and NCERT exercises and everything?
Yes, ma'am, because NCERT exercises we used to practice when we were at school.
School, okay.
And like topic wise, if suppose today we have covered about the Faraday's laws in electrochemistry, so that much topic questions were solved in today's day or before the next chemistry lecture.
Okay, okay. So, what do you think, Asees? You were a regular student. So, what do you think about the trend that's going on, taking dummy or taking a regular school? So, which one is better? Yes,
Schooling is better.
school is better.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And what do you think are the advantages of going to a regular school?
Ma'am, the same thing is covered twice.
Okay.
We cover the same content twice, and school majorly focuses over NCERT. So one first level of preparation is done very well, and when we get prepared for school exams, then our subjective is also done nicely. So NCERT is covered very nicely for school.
Okay. And you could manage like preparing for coaching along with your school?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, fine. So how did you break your everyday schedule?
Ma'am, I used to get up at 6:15 in the morning,
Okay.
getting ready for school. Then while going to school, I used to solve some of the MCQs, which are like to be covered in today's coaching or some practice or revision. Like I used
Okay.
to go in bus, school bus, so I utilized that time. Even while coming back, some time was utilized.
Okay.
So after school, after coming home, we used to have lunch. Then hardly 15-20 minutes would be there for revision, and then we used to go to the coaching for doubts and everything. Then in the evening, 7:30 or 8, we used to come back. Then 2.5 hours of study, then a dinner break, and then studying till 12 or 1.
Okay.
And
Okay. And so
then
you did not take any afternoon nap?
no, ma'am, we could not manage that.
You could not manage. Okay. And so you could manage to stay alert without taking an afternoon nap every day?
Ma'am, then we used to, ma'am, like Saturday used to be an off from school sometimes.
Okay. So you would
So,
go in for that? Any time temptation about? No. So you were comfortable
ma'am,
with
because
it?
I have been a regular student since the beginnings of school. I have always been regular, and until and unless I don't go to school, I'm not able to catch up with my studies nicely.
Okay. So you feel school keeps you alert and attentive.
Yes, ma'am.
And you enjoyed school teaching also?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Okay.
I mean, it used to be
Okay.
somewhat relaxing also to be with friends, and then 10-15 minutes of relaxation used to be also there in school.
Right, right, right. So that's great. That's great. And that's so since you were a part of the COVID batch, your batch was especially experiencing this new set of circumstances all together coming up, uh, put on you children. So what do you think, like, how did these online class schedule, all of a sudden shifting to online class schedule, how did that affect your performance? Was it better or did it really initially did it give you problems? Just share your viewpoint on this.
Ma'am, it was difficult to suddenly shift for online classes,
Okay.
especially for the regular school going students, because we were used to continuous offline classes, and we were suddenly put for those online classes. And initially, only schools could manage their online classes. Then slowly, the coaching institutes started their classes. So, ma'am, basic problem was that we could not interact with the teacher
With the
like
teachers.
we could do in classes.
I still
And
remember the kind of interactions and that everyday learning. early morning going to school and learning for a 10 minutes test, a 5 minutes test, every teacher expecting something out of you. So that just, kept you on the move. So you probably missed that part when online classes started.
Yes, ma'am. And ma'am, most important were the doubt sessions.
Mm-hmm.
Because for every doubt that we used to have, we had to first take a screenshot, then post the doubt to the teacher. Then teacher would compile it in a session, that too once in a week. So that was again a very big problem because it used a lot of time and energy.
But then gradually, I think you did cope up.
Yes, ma'am.
Gradually, you children became used to, and towards the end, I think some of them never wanted back the going back to regular school or regular classes. Everybody was in a comfort
Ma'am,
zone.
when we were told that final exam has to be offline,
Mhm.
then we were like that now it should open up because we needed practice of marking the OMR sheets and everything.
Right, 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 right. So, okay. Okay, sis. So, what do you think is the importance of NCRT books?
I mean, NCRT is the base.
Is the
Most
base.
important thing is NCRT for the two
Okay.
years.
And is that enough, or you
And
need to go beyond that?
just like 5-7% outside NCRT. Not
Okay.
much.
So this
Means
time.
once we should know the extra point. Once we should be knowing the extra points, once the teacher has taught at the coaching, fine,
Mhm.
we have noted the points, we have gone through them. But in the final go, the last 2-3 revisions, they should be like more or less around NCRT only. They should not be like going to too much of extra things,
Okay.
especially for biology.
But if you do not revise what extra topics you do initially, if you don't revise them in the last 2 3 months, do you think like they are fresh in your memory and you're able to attempt some questions that come from those topics?
Ma'am, it's like for 1 or 2 questions out of those 45 questions.
Mm-hmm.
So if we are managing those 43 questions nicely till like reaching to that last 6 months, before the last 6 months, we are managing 43 questions. Then we can spend 1 or 2 months to go through that syllabus for those 2 questions. But first, the base is NCRT only because paper is all about NCRT for
So
all the three subjects.
this time, do you think there were any topics out of NCRT in chemistry?
Ma'am, in chemistry, not really. I think
Everything was
one or two.
NCRT based. Yeah, and what
Yes,
about
ma'am.
in
Especially
bio and
organic was like totally from NCRT.
okay and bio?
Bio also complete NCRT. On
Mhm.
last 2 or 3 questions were there, but they
Okay.
were manageable questions.
And what about physics?
Physics was this year a bit tricky and lengthy also. So, but yes, the questions were easy, but they were like something was the point that we could not identify at that time. Like when
Okay.
we saw the solutions after coming home, then it was like, how
Then
come we missed this?
it was manageable.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
you could not relate it there. Okay, it happens. Okay. Asis, what was your last 1 month strategy like? What all things did you do in the last 1 month? How did you prepare?
Ma'am, last 1 month I did the NCRTs. Like for
Okay.
biology, it was NCRTs almost 2 times revised
Mm-hmm.
for both classes in that last 1 month.
Okay.
And for chemistry, inorganic NCRT is important. And organic also, like this year, all questions from organic were directly from NCRT. They had asked the intermediate and everything.
Mhm.
So that was all from NCRT. Physical questions, some specific questions of NCRT, like which over the 2 years we have marked that this is some typical question, like equilibrium chapter back exercise question number 70.
Okay. So everything that was highlighted while teaching, like I made you mark some stars, and then I told you this is very important. So do you think those things were helpful?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, because they may be not in the direct form, but they somewhere help us to relate to the basic questions. Like some shortcuts are there, But those things are like to be done in the 2 years. They are to be practiced repeatedly. Those shortcuts, the important points, they are
Yeah.
to be taken up repeatedly. Only then they come apart.
Because anything that a teacher teaches, a teacher explains, but you don't go home and revise and then re-revise and then repeatedly work on it, I don't think that is of any use. Just listening to a teacher and then going home and closing your books would not really be helpful. So do you think children who are not regular and just sit back for the last 3-4 months, is it possible to crack this exam?
It is difficult to manage,
Okay.
but they can do it if they are like for 3-4 months they put in their 100% plus. Then there's some chance that they can get some things. But at least they should be revising the notes like regularly, because notes and NCERT, they are the base.
So that means
So
regular
for
input
2 years,
is required.
yes, ma'am. Ma'am, you said us in plus one only that for 2 years the most important thing is consistency.
Yeah. And I'm so, happy to relate this to listen this particular word from all of you. I've just talked, everybody remembers that during my first day of your orientation, I told you consistency is going to, work more than your intelligence or genius or anything else that you do. So you just, even if you're a slow mover, just keep going throughout till the end and you will definitely manage. Yes. And see, this
Yes.
this has proved true, Asees. Chalo, that is good. Anything else you remember from my first day orientation?
Ma'am, you used to say us that like we need to go into detail of every topic, but we are not to do like PhD of any topic.
Yes.
We
Okay.
need to take up the things only to an extent which is required.
Right. Right.
We need to go into the unnecessary details.
Yeah, and you don't have to go into the whys and why nots to unnecessary depths because the content is so much. If you just sidetrack and you utilize your energies into thinking over the useless things and imagine, yeah, there should be curiosity. You should be thinking. You should be asking questions, but not unnecessarily, imaginary questions, because that just puts you off track. So that's nice to know that you still remember after 2 years things I told you. I think exact 2.5 years back, first day
Yes,
of
ma'am.
the
Ma'am, there's
orientation.
one word that you specifically used for 2 years.
Yeah.
Tapasya. You always used to say us that it's tapasya for 2 years.
Yes. And do you agree, Asees? Do you agree to
Yes,
this?
ma'am.
Yes.
Yes,
It
ma'am.
it is actually tapasya. I think. Do you think it's easy to maintain a party life and to chill out sometimes and just go and have fun more often? And do you think it's possible or it's comfortable?
No,
Not
ma'am.
really. Not really. Maybe 1% students manage both the things. Some blessed students or some of the students who start very early. Maybe. But 95%
But
children,
that
yeah,
somewhere deviates us from the track.
yeah.
There
And
are distractions, there are deviations.
once you create the deficit of learning or of revising, it's very, very difficult to catch up. Obviously, somebody who's putting in all the time and every day, and somebody who's not. So this class is not about getting a particular percentage. This class is about getting more marks than others. So which means you have to be in a competitive mode throughout, not with exactly with others, but with your own self, test after test, checking, analyzing your own performance and improving on your own performance. And I told you, there's no time to cry during these 2 years. You can keep all that, brooding over and crying and all this, you can keep pending. You can do after the result if there is a need. I think you all do not need it now. So you've all done a good job for
Yes, ma'am.
yourself. Yeah. So that's really nice to know you children have come up with flying colors. Yeah. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
What was your thought, Asees, when you came out of the exam day immediately after appearing for the exam?
Ma'am, I was a bit scared because the paper was this time like not expected. Like we
Okay.
had expected this year the paper to be easy, like 2020, or a bit like fine, manageable paper, but it was lengthy and it was like a bit stressful situation.
Maybe you were expecting some COVID advantage, but they did not give.
Yes.
Okay. Paper was exactly not, I think chemistry and bio were perfectly fine. Physics,
Physics
according
was
to analysis, was a little
lengthy.
lengthy.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, chalo, all that ends well is great. So, was your last day expectation same as the result?
Ma'am, last day was like, fine, paper should be a manageable one. I should be able to manage a decent score. Like we have aims and ambitions when we begin this journey of 2 years. But till the last date was to get a decent score enough to
Decent
get
score.
a government seat.
Some would manage a government seat. Yeah, that's fair enough. If you manage a government seat, that's good. So, and you have managed a government seat. So, that's really nice. Happy feeling, elated, satisfied after this 2 years journey?
Yes, ma'am. But somewhere better rank was expected for the same score. But this year, like there was
Yeah, that
all of
that keeps happening because
expected
it's
rank.
a relative score. So I think still with a plus 500 or a minus 500 bracket, it's almost the same things on offer, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So be happy with the whatever has been achieved. So what methods did you choose most of the times to de-stress yourself during study hours?
It's like talking with parents,
Okay.
putting out a frustration, talking to them. If in case depressed, talking to, like I used to talk to my mother. She used to
Okay.
motivate me back.
Okay.
Then talking to, like I had one best friend. She was in commerce, so once in a month I used to talk to her, or we used to meet in school. So
Okay.
she
Once in a
used to
month.
again motivate, ma'am, over the time.
Okay.
Because yes, ma'am.
So you had that less time for socializing, right?
Ma'am,
Yeah, that's
because
okay.
differences arise between commerce and science students.
Science students, yeah.
Then yeah,
You don't have common interests, and I think a different level of input is needed in both the subjects.
yes, ma'am.
Okay. What do you think, Asees, is the role of parents? What is the role of your parents? Apart from the emotional and the moral support, were you ever scolded
Ma'am,
or
like
checked upon? Mm-hmm.
yes, ma'am. Ma'am, sometimes, like especially in the end, in the
Okay.
last months, because of frustration and then everything was getting so much delayed. So sometimes the performance did go down, but they did not actually scold. They used to tell that whatever you are doing is you are doing for yourself. You are not doing for us or for someone, you are doing it for yourself. So
Yeah.
when you have worked for so many years, then last 2-3 months, why not put in your best? Then after that,
Right.
it's all about trying yourself.
Okay. So were you into social media?
No, ma'am. Mama, I did not have a personal phone
Okay.
ever in last so many years. So I just used phone for like once in a day at night before sleeping, or in school exams time. I never used to use phone. Then online classes did like you increase the use of phone.
Okay. So, with online classes, you could manage to keep yourself away from all the distractions that a phone generally opens up.
I never use Instagram, Snapchat, anything.
Okay.
Even no YouTube videos, no nothing. So I just use WhatsApp to interact with my friends.
Okay.
That used to be like in between two classes. That also was mostly with the school friends only. That have you joined the meeting or can you share the link? Only that much interaction we used to have.
Only related topics, things that were
Yes.
really needed. Chalo, that was great. And I think that is one reason that you are successful, because I don't think in these two classes you can afford even a little bit of, you know, distraction. That,
Yes, ma'am.
yeah, that makes you suffer a lot. Okay. So, any take home message, Asees, for the next
Ma'am,
year's aspirants? Yeah.
it's all about like putting in your best. We have to give our best for these 2 years, or for that matter for 2022, so it's hardly few more months. So
Yeah.
all those efforts which you have put in these 2 years, you are to get that reward. And the most important thing is praying to God. Apart from your effort, the next thing that plays role is your destiny. So that is
That's
something
mature. Okay, that's a nice message, and that's a mature thought. Put in your best, and then after that, leave the rest in the hands of God. So He
yes.
has the best plans for each one of us. So let destiny play its part, but it's important to put in your best. Did you make any short notes also?
Ma'am, I really did not make any for chemistry or biology,
Okay. For
because
physics?
like for physics, ma'am, in the end I used to write some formulae, like some very typical formulae which we used to skip because they were not that common. So once I used
Mhm.
to write them on a sheet of paper in case some test covers those extra questions. So that formula used to be like there.
Okay. And what was your order of attempt during the NEET exam?
Ma'am, first I attempted biology, then chemistry, and then physics, marking the OMR sheet after every section.
And the time was enough? Like you could manage well on time?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. And did you follow the same schedule during your mock tests also? The revision tests?
Ma'am, in the last few months, I followed this. Earlier, I used to follow physics, chemistry, bio, but
Okay.
then I had to shift
You
because
changed. Change your strategy.
we had to, like, after 1 year, we started marking OMR sheets. So there, that problem was there for time.
Okay. So this strategy worked well for you.
Ma'am, but yes, for the upcoming batches, I suggest that they should follow the thing that they followed for the 2 years.
Yeah. They
They
should
should.
actually follow a strategy for at least 2-3 months during the mock testing, and only then use that for
Yes.
the final exam. Yeah. If you compare your score in the last month when you were appearing for mock tests at various sources, say NTA tests or your NTA tests or coaching tests. So, do you think the score that you used to get there is exactly similar or almost in the same range as what you've scored finally?
Ma'am, like for NTA test, the score used to was like almost 20 marks less than my actual score.
Okay.
And my coaching tests or other test series that I give, the national level test series, ma'am, in
Mhm.
those where I managed a score far better than what I got in the final. But the average was around 600 to 650.
Okay. So 600 to 650 average, but towards the end you were managing better.
Yes, ma'am. Last, specifically those last 3, 4 tests that I
Okay.
give.
So you
Yes.
are scoring less than those last 3-4 tests.
No, ma'am. More than those.
More than
Actual
those.
score is more. Yes, ma'am.
Actual score is more.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
So that means till the end you should not quit. You should keep trying and keep putting in your best till the last go, and you never know like how things go. And
Yes, ma'am.
I think the key word to carry home is consistency.
Yes, ma'am.
You need to be consistent in your efforts, and that is most important. Okay, Asees, that was nice talking to you, and thank you for your time. And I hope all these tips and tricks really help the aspirants of 2022 as well as 2023. So I wish you all the best for all your
Thank
future endeavors. God bless you. And congratulations once again.
Thank you so much, ma'am.